Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you my Tim Coffey inspired bloom, and I'm using Wild Orchid Crafts large summer blooms and smaller size blooms, and these are BM-00020, and I'll get the number for the larger blooms for you and post it in the description. I'm always trying to think a little bit outside the box, and I'm totally in love with Tim Coffey's papers, and they come in cools and warms. So I have the example of the blue one, which is one that I've already completed, and I'm going to make one out of the orange. So all you'll need is a glue gun, and I am so in love with my new little Fiskars cordless glue gun. I can't even tell you. It's so nice. A pair of tweezers and a pair of scissors and 3 petals, 2 large and 1 small. So let's get started. I'm going to put this one off to the side right here. And I apologize for my voice, it's kind of coming in and out. So what you're going to do is you're going to start off with the larger blooms, and one of the large blooms you're going to, and these are the ones that are already embossed, so they have like a vein running down the middle. It's there's a concave and a convex side. So the side that's convex, so it goes this way, you're going to bend them in half, each of the petals. So this is the middle layer right here. I'm just going to go around and gently, and if you have one that's not separated, just grab your scissors and trim it. Just don't trim it too close to the center because you don't want the petal to rip off. So I'm going to bend it, and I'm just going around gently and bending them at about halfway. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to glue them. So I'm going to start off with one petal at a time. And for this one I could use my fingers, and again I have asbestos fingers. If you do not try this at home. Use your tweezers. When it comes to the smaller petal, I am going to switch to tweezers. So all I'm doing is I'm leaving a little dab of glue on the underside tip of the petal, and then I'm folding it over, which is why I pre-folded it earlier. And I'm doing that for each one. So I'll be right back once I have all of these adhered down. Okay, so I've glued them all down. So this is the front side, this is the underside where I glued it. I'm going to go back and grab my scissors. And there's a little natural fold in each of the petals, and I'm snipping it 3/4 of the way towards the center. I don't want to cut it too close to the center because I don't want them to separate. And the glue is now holding the two pieces together. So what you're doing is you're just creating extra petals. You're just separating the petals. Kind of like a fringing effect. So this is the centerpiece. So now I'm going to go back to my large petal, and all I'm going to do is fold like a third. Just going to go around the inside or the underside of the petal and fold a third. I don't want to quite fold it in half because I want the dimensional difference between the bottom layer, this one, and the middle layer. So now I'm just going to go back and put a dab of glue, underneath the petal. And again, I have asbestos fingers. Use your tweezers. Save your fingers. I'm just going to fold it over, and I'll be right back when that's all glued. Okay, so the larger petal is now done. It's all glued on the underside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back with my scissors, and I would recommend using scissors that have non-stick coverage on them, so it's just easier. You won't stick to the glue. And I'm going to do the same snipping. I'm going to go about halfway on this one because it's going to be covered by the middle layer petal, so there's no need to trim all the way down. Plus, if you trim too far down, you have there's a possibility of your petal getting torn off. Okay, so I've now have the middle layer glued and trimmed, the bottom layer glued and trimmed. I just went in between the petals where there was a natural crease and trimmed those. Now I'm going to work on the top petal, and it's this little one that looks like a little bumpus. So the petal, the natural form of the petal, has these grooves, and it's a slightly, it's a considerably smaller, but it's slightly different shape. See? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it upside down, the same way I've been doing all the gluing of the other ones. But this one I'm going to glue, I've already trimmed this down because I want the little overlap to happen for the bud. And I am going to use tweezers for this one because it's just too close for me to get in effectively with my fingernails. So I'm going to put my scissors off to the side, get my glue gun ready, and get my tweezers ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dab of glue on the inside and then fold it under. And there is going to be an overlap with each of the petals because when you fold these in, there's not going to be enough surface area for them to lie independently. And you'll see what I mean when I start doing that. And my glue gun even has a little light on it so you know where you're adding your glue. So here I have a dab of glue, and I'm going to take my tweezers and fold under. And now when I do the next one, grab my tweezers, fold under, and there's a slight overlap. So what it's going to do is it's going to build up the center. I'm just going to keep going, and I will finish this off camera and then come back to show you how to put the petals together. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm done gluing almost every single one of the little petals, and I have one left, and as you can see, they all overlap each other slightly, and the very last one is going to be overlapping two of the petals. And now what I'm going to do is, I wound this pretty tightly, you can get this a little looser. Now I'm going to assemble the petals, dab of glue in the middle of the larger petal, then I'm going to set the medium set one. And again, if you have hot glue phobia, fear, you could substitute using Fabri-Tac, and I wouldn't recommend sticking your fingers in the way I did. Remember, you have tweezers. And then one more dab of glue for the center. And if you get any flyaways, they're very easy to remove once they set up. So now the center I have set up this way. Oh, sorry, was I out of frame? And you can go back and get the little flyaway glue or stuff that's stuck to your finger. See? There you go. And then if you want, you can add, I put a little bling in the center of the blue one. You can paint it with iridescent medium. You know what, let me paint the orange one and show you how beautiful that is. I'm going to grab my medium, my brush, just paint it on. And if you don't want to use the middle petal, you can absolutely use a decorative button. If you have something that would look nice with your project, you could mist this with your favorite sprays. You can start off with plain white petals and color them up with whichever medium you prefer. I just love that they're very, they're dimensional without being too bulky, and they look very nice. I think they're going to look very nice with Tim Coffey's papers. So here's my little homage to Tim's new paper line, and here's another yellow one that I could make. And the petals from Wild Record Crafts come in a large assortment of colors, every color you can think of, and pretty much every color that's in the new warm and cool papers from Tim Coffey. If you have any questions about this project or this little flower please feel free to leave me a comment. I'll have some close-up photographs on my blog, which will be a link to below in the description. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Here's my inspiration of the Tim Coffey's warm garden mix, and here's my interpretation. There's also cool garden mix. Love the colors.